On my walk, I stopped into another church. I do that often. Open door, if there's an open door and I'm walking, I'll stop. This particular church, again, um, the bummy thing. This particular church, I went in and nobody said anything, but this was a different type of spirit. It's about money. The whole time, that's what he talked about, money. And then it was so funny. It got to the point he had gotten so good at asking for money that at a certain point it almost sounded like he was at an auction. And he was already saying, well, if he knew people's names, he would say, this person is going to give 100. This person already gave 100. We need 2,000. It's so funny because at the church this morning, they were talking about how they don't do that. But this church did exactly that and then some. And it was just like auction. Just, you got 100, got 100, got 200, 200, 20, 20, 30. I was like, what in the world? It was ridiculous. And at first I was recording, but then I stopped because I was like, okay, I know what this is all about. Nothing unusual. They're going to ask for money for like 20, 30 minutes. But but I didn't expect it to go like an auction for him. Like, it was like an auction. And it was funny because then said, my wife is going to give 100 out of her personal account, 100 out of my account. Then he was like, the kids, they got good grades, so I'm going to give them some money and they're going to give it right back to me. Get a size off envelope and everything. I was like, wow. Just hilarious. The building funded all. So, and then they were like, yeah, we have what is it, a business meeting or something. And he was like, members only. So, yeah, it was just, very ironic. Like I said, God shows me different things in different ways. I wanted to talk to you too about some of the things going on with new technology and stuff like that. It's not really new now. It's probably been around for a few years now. But you know how all the cell phones, they're recording when you don't know it as well. But when they have access, they have certain sensors, and I'll try to find documentation and put it in the description. Sensors that, gauge like the depth, the space in your environment, the depth and all that kind of thing. And then they also have holograms and, those types of things. And I need to find a study so that it's making sense. But basically they were talking about, some people were concerned that if they have depth perception of your home or where you're staying at, and they have access to holograms that seem real, there was this eerie thing where they were saying that means that they can put things, what happens when people start using it as part of quote-unquote warfare, whether the war is against abroad or domestic. And I thought that's a very, very valid concern, and that is kind of creepy. Now, with the new updates to the phones and things like that happen automatically on the newer phones. You don't even have it, it downloads it, and it gets to a point where if you don't update it, it'll turn the phone off and it'll update itself. So you don't have a lot of say-so in that. Also, interpersonal connections. I need to work on that a lot more, as y'all know already. The thing that I was getting at this morning about, they gave a little sermon about how it's so funny. They said this church, they have something every Sunday, but this church is different from whatever was there before. So I'm gonna have to come on a Sunday and check it out and see what's what. But and again, I go to church not because I'm religious, but just to hear and see and observe the people. But and on this walk, I'm seeing a lot of things that I really like. There's a pool room. There's a lot of stuff I like down here. But oh man, I should have got some pork. But anyhow, and I think that's the reason I've gotten bigger too. I've been doing the bacon, straight for like a couple of weeks, and then I got into the pork, and that's not good either. So, but the thing that I was getting at this morning was, they were talking about about being careful of what you say, taming your tongue, not speaking in haste, and being careful and mindful of what you're saying, making sure that it's not manipulative. Now, a think that was my the owner that just drove past me. Now the thing about it is, I hope he doesn't stop. I don't need no ride or anything like that. I like my walks. So the thing about the pausing the manipulative tongue and that type of thing, um, she was talking about, and I have a lot of respect for the person that did the service this morning. It was just really beautiful. And there's like a Jamaican jerk chicken place. It's really cool over here. But yeah, so she was talking about how sometimes people manipulate in different ways. People manipulate by trying to make people feel sorry for them, or manipulate by, she talked a lot about using feminine wiles. As you see, I don't have any feminine wiles. And maybe at one time I had some by mistake, but when I quickly found out that people were, I intentionally didn't, and now I, by mistake or not, I don't have any, period, and I'm okay with that. Um, yeah, so what was I gonna say? Yeah, so it made a lot of sense, and I looked at myself, and a lot of what she was talking about, as y'all know, all these police cars, I felt a certain way um, about just the things that I've gone through and whatever like that. And I think the initial thing was I was going to try to look and scope out people that I thought would be interested, but then I realized that's what she was talking about. And I don't see it as manipulation, but what I learned from that service was just to be silent, watch, and observe. And if anything that needs to be done, and this is how it spoke to me, was that basically God had it. Don't go looking for support or soliciting support, this, that, and the other. Just let God take care of it. She didn't say that directly; those were not her words, but the that's how it translated to me. Um, and then I thought about this morning how I had my blog about the roommate and things like that, and truth be told, you know, I should have kept my thoughts and my opinions and my words to myself. Hey, to myself, and she talked about this too, about examining your intentions and what you're saying, and how your spirit will tell you when you're wrong. And it was right. And she was like, sometimes you won't, I don't know, remember the exact words, but you won't like what you see. And it's true. Like this morning, like when I was blogging or whatever about that and about the other stuff I was blogging about, I didn't like the spirit that I had, because it was like, it was kind of, and y'all probably saw it, it was a little contentious. It was a little argumentative, a little angry. It was all those things. And maybe a little spiteful, I don't know, but it was not good things. And you have to be careful. I have to be careful anyhow that I watch my spirit. Especially with all this stuff going on, I need to watch my spirit. I've noticed some changes in my spirit. Like a couple weeks ago, remember how I didn't want to do anything, and then the thing about the TV, and I need to watch my spirit, because if in fact the world is a place that's filled with natural and supernatural things, you really want to be sure that you stayed prayed up, and you make sure that when you sense that something is not right in your spirit, that you're behaving in a way that is not the goal of how you would behave. You need to put that in check real fast. And I think that the church I went to in the morning, and I know churches are not perfect, that's where I need to go. And I think at least visit another time. I also think that I need to work on my connections, and I know that. And I look awful, and I know I look awful. And the thing about it is, when you go to these places, even though, and I'm glad they accepted me the way that I was today, but when you go to these places, um, it's like you want to present yourself a certain way, because you want people to be receptive to you. And previously I wasn't really with that, because I don't like being dishonest about it. But yeah, you have to look a certain way. So I'm going to get it together. Right now I don't really have like quote unquote church clothes, so that, to be honest with you, I had not planned on going back to church at all, really. And the clothes that I wear to work, because I know, like I said, that I'm hairy, and then after a while, I'm just like, whatever, is basically pantsuits. So going forward, what I want to do is get some nice dress suits so I can wear them to work or to church, and again, present myself in a way that will make people receptive to me. And I have the knowledge that I'm walking down this dark street and there's a car just sitting here. I don't know what they're doing, just sitting there. And what's the license plate number? 818. It's a, I don't know what kind of car it is. There's no light there. It's 816 PYK and it's an Altima. So it's got to be a Nissan. I don't know why that man is just sitting there like that, but he's just sitting there. And I'm just taking a walk, walking back to where I need to go. And and stuff like that. Normally I would ignore it, but I want to get people like that on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're just sitting in the car, just drinking. You know. So I don't know. The world is crazy, and it's just like, um, I don't know. In a decent place or a mindful person, you would see somebody walking down the street, and you would see that yes, they're taking a walk, or you see groceries on their arm, and you see they went to the supermarket to pick up some things. But these people here, they have a different mindset. And again, maybe it's because of my appearance, but I mean, I'm just taking a walk and I'm comfortable. But I am going to start dressing more professionally in my personal time because, again, I have some personal things that are professional that I want to promote, and obviously you can't do that if you're looking like this, and this is the type of reception you get. Now, coincidentally, the girl that moved in, she presents herself pretty well. And when, I don't know what part of it may have been her, but when I was walking down the street with her, didn't get that. And she actually spoke to people that I didn't even see. I'm just like, what? And it scared me because, like, for me, me walking down the street, I don't speak to people like that because maybe it's one, I'm by myself and I don't drive. So I'm always going to be walking. So they're going to see me walking down the street again. And I may not be want to be bothered and they'll continue on. But there was some things I have to say that I learned from that young lady. Smile goes a million miles, and she does that well. And so I have to learn to do that. And one thing that I learned about myself too is that I cut people off fast. Like if I see something I don't like, and then what I'm also seeing in my older age, and guys told me this when I was younger, but I never took it to heart. But I see this in me now, is that I, it could be something okay, but I look for reasons to cut people off. And that's not good either. I need to look for reasons to bond. So I'm going to try to be the opposite of that because I don't think that's a good way to be. And in this world, as crazy as things are going, and as easy as it is for someone to have a negative perception of you, you need to have somebody that's, you know what I'm saying, that you have rubbed the right way so they can give a positive, some positive feedback because this world is ruthless. So I don't know, I'm learning as I go a lot. I have a lot more to learn. And that young lady, and I'm sorry if anyway slandered her or said anything bad earlier, but I have learned a lot from her. I'm going to say that for real. I have, regardless of anything else, I have learned a lot from her. Um, and that's about it. But I'm uploading that video when I get back because that video was creepy. So anyway, take care.